Hi everyone, good evening. Welcome back to Easter Road. Rangers, Hibs 0, Rangers 3, joined with Stevie, Clifford from Four Lads Had a Dream and Rangers Review to dissect what was a good night for Rangers. Stevie, 3 goals, Ridvan, Todd Cantwell and Cyril Dessers, all really good individual strikes in their own right. It was quite an open game. Hibs went for it, but it felt like tonight, without being a fantastic performance, without being a performance we thought, wow, that was a really exceptional team performance all in, it was a really good night for Rangers, that wasn't it?
Yeah, it feels like a statement victory. We've all had moments where we've wondered if they could come back from this winter break and would there be the hangover, or was it just a wee initial burst under Philip Clement? We've had post-break problems before.
Yeah.
It's always in our mind. I thought we were good on Saturday. I said it on the show a couple of days ago that I thought we were good on Saturday and we created a lot of opportunities. Tonight, I'm like you. I don't think it was perfect. I thought at times we were sloppy in the first half on the ball,
and there was more there for them at points, wasn't there?
There was. I was going to say. I thought that at points we got in really good transitional positions and never really done anything with it. And final third, it lacked that wee bit of conviction. But they still scored 3 wonderful goals. Mm-hmm. They created an abundance of chances, and they've come to somewhere which is a really difficult ground and won 3-0. And it's as I said, it's a statement victory. It's a fabulous night for the club result-wise. And I think it sends a little bit of a message in terms of, this was a game in hand, the one that we maybe would have faltered on before. And it just feels a wee bit more real. Joshua, we were saying that off camera there. It feels a wee bit more real. It feels like there's a lot more intent to this team, and it's really positive. And I'm just delighted overall. If you'd said to me 3-0 beforehand, you all would have bitten your hand off for it, I think. So absolutely delighted with that.
Let's start with the goals then, because I agree with you. I think you sometimes get a sense at games where, as you say, it was the first game that Rangers had back after the winter break, and they had that really good run when Clement came in, the disappointing Old Firm defeat, which was narrow and I think decided a lot by the quality that either team had to call upon at the top end of the pitch. But Clement, I thought his press conference, which you can watch obviously after you've watched us, on the YouTube channel, and you'll be able to read soon. I thought it was quite an interesting press conference, Stevie, because there's quite a few moments where he spoke about, he said the team have been giving him a headache because of how well they've been training. He's starting to get more options back. He's got one signing in the door, one close. And he said, listen, every player has developed from that time 3 months ago, and he's quite continually now speaking about the mood and how he feels that's different. So I agree with you. I think sometimes you get a sense of this is a manager who's really starting to get a lot of starting. He has been, but the belief is growing under him, and I think there's a real belief that Rangers do have the right manager at the helm, which goes a long way to changing the mood around things. But let's start in the goals. Ridvan Yilmaz, that was a good finish, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, listen, credit to the pass by John Lundstrom. I thought Lonnie was terrific. We'll come to John, I think, hopefully later in this podcast, but. Yeah, I think he deserves to have a wee chat on his own. But as for the goal, he picks it up centrally. There's runners right. Silva goes right. Ridvan makes that run in behind and he finds him wonderfully. One touch on the bounce, shoots and scores. Now, he missed an opportunity like that at Tynecastle.
Yes.
And as he ran through, my first thought was Tynecastle. Mm-hmm. But this time he got over it and he just lashed it in. I think goalkeeper positionally, maybe at his near post would be disappointed, but we don't care about that. It's a great move from Lundstrom. I think the pass is delicious because it's right on his foot on the run, and the finish is equally as good. I thought Ridvan was very good tonight as well. And I think, as we'll come to, I think maybe Ridvan and Lundstrom were the standouts. But if we talk about the goals before we go into the individual stuff like you've asked, I think the first one is perfect. And it comes a couple of minutes after that Matondo chance at the back post where I was beginning to think, I hope it's not going to be one of these nights where we're missing these opportunities and then we get caught up the other end. Yeah. But perfect time for the goal.
Because there had been, I think Rangers had a lot of space, but they'd kind of lacked that final pass.
Conviction, wasn't it?
And there'd been the one moment where Matondo had got to the byline and actually cut the ball back well. I think Silva put it. I think a good chance you'd call that the front post. Uh-huh. Todd Cantwell then was involved in a bit of a flashpoint, and if you've not seen the line from the presser, Clement said that Raskin and Cantwell, it wasn't just a rotation issue; they were both taken off because of knocks. Sounds precautionary. You can watch the clip on my Twitter page. I've just put it up. Cantwell was involved in, we'll call it a flashpoint, where he was going to the edge of the pitch. I think he knew he was about to get hit. He took a big hit from both sides, kind of fell into Nick Montgomery, the Hibs manager, who fell over as well. Clement was not very impressed about it. 2 minutes later, though, Stevie, he got the ball in the pocket, and he'd kind of done that a few times before. This time, instead of trying to play the final pass, he unleashed a shot, and not one we've seen him. We've not really seen him attempt that from outside the box too often. Fantastic goal. I think that was. I think when Cantwell came to Rangers, and Chris and I were speaking on the pre-match briefing about it being a year since he's arrived, and he maybe needed a goal like that to just maybe remind people of his quality. Because that Old Firm game, he wasn't able to decide the margins. But I think that's what endeared him to the Rangers support initially. He was someone who kind of wound up away fans and became the kind of centre of attention, and liked the centre of attention, but then had the ability to go and carry it out and actually make a difference in matches. And maybe he's not been able to do that quite as consistently as he'd have liked recently. But that was for having had a quiet 20 minutes, that was a real moment of quality after that flashpoint in the dugout.
Yeah, it was. Look, I think that if any other player gets taken out the way that Todd Cantwell was on a touchline, I think they're going into the book. Todd Cantwell does it, and he goes into the book. Todd Cantwell gets it done to him, and it's a calm down, I'll speak to our manager instead of dealing with the actual situation where he was thumped into by both sides. He then responds in the best way possible. I've got no doubt he was galvanised a wee bit by that, and he felt like he had a point to prove, and that was maybe it. Maybe the frustration and anger of what went on at that moment, he took into scalping that ball, just 2 minutes later, and that's what I'd like to see a wee bit more of. And I was frustrated a wee bit in the first half, and it sounds a strange thing to say, being 2-0 up, that I thought, in the transition, the final third, I thought to myself, this is maybe why they're looking at Diamande to come in, because he plays that type of possession football, but the type where he can create chances. We seem to get into there was a lot of space tonight. There was a lot of space in those moments on both sides. And I just felt like we weren't being conviction. There wasn't enough conviction in our final bit of our passing. You could see it was almost there, right? There was wee flashpoints and moments where you thought that was nearly a good moment, nearly a good pass, nearly a good shot and things like that. But I just think
I think the Silva moment at the start of the second half, I'm pointing on the screen, but I'm pointing to the Rangers side.
That's completely what I'm talking about. So that was 3-on-2, and he pushes it too wide from McCausland. So I agree with you completely. I just felt that but the difference in that moment from Todd Cantwell was he got the space. He's seen that, again, Marshall, positionally, should he really get beat over that side? I'm not sure he should, but he's taken a tremendous shot, and it was just what we needed. I think it kind of kills it as a contest, because then even if they get that early goal, which, by the way, they were in straight away on the right-hand side, and I thought that maybe we were too open at that moment. If they get, going at 1-0, it's only one goal and they're right back in it and the crowd get behind you. But to score at that moment in time is kind of vital, and it's a lovely strike by Cantwell. And look, he's capable. I wish he would play with a wee bit more aggression on the ball like that. I wish we would play with a wee bit more aggression. I do not mind somebody taking a shot and lashing it wide. It's better than overrunning it or playing a pass that maybe we can't get on. And that's the frustrating thing.
So that's hopefully not people telling us to get out. Sorry if that
came... He's a 1-3-0 beat.
That came across quite loud. Right, Jack Butland save is not a goal, but it's almost a goal.
It's goal worthy.
Yeah, it's goal worthy. When I spoke to Connor Goldson in La Manga, he said the line was something like, you just know sometimes as a Rangers goalkeeper, you don't have much to do for a while, but then you need to turn up in the big moments, and he has a knack of doing that. And he also spoke about the confidence that puts in front in the defenders in front of him. That was a big save, because and he's done it so routinely now, but it's not like it's a shot from 30 yards. It's a cutback from probably 12 to 14 yards, maybe even a little bit closer.
It's within the penalty spot area.
Yeah, so. And that's as important as a goal, because if that deficit gets halved, I know you're still 2-1 up by that point, Stevie, but the home crowd gets up. You maybe are a bit frustrated if you're a Rangers fan in the stadium because of the opportunities that have been missed. But Jack Butland, whether it be in the Kilmarnock game at home, that one-on-one big save that kind of stands out in my immediate memory, it's just kind of becoming routine that he makes these big stops.
Yeah, but he also made one after 1 minute on the clock when it was fairly routine for him at his feet. But positionally, the difference between that moment from Butland and maybe the moment from David Marshall when Ridvan runs in is characterised by those two split moments. It's a tremendous save by Jack. I mean, he stays big. He doesn't. Goalkeepers have got a habit of going down and maybe making up a forwards. He stays big, waits, and then commits to save the ball. And he enjoyed it. He gets up, fist pump, and he enjoys that moment because it is as good as as a striker at the other end scoring. That's as good for us at our end because we've been it was the only time that I think Ridvan got caught with the ball in behind him and Ewan manages to run actually off him. It was the only time it happened to Ridvan tonight, and otherwise a very good performance. And it came just a couple of minutes after Matondo has that moment where you think that he should maybe do better, and then McCausland has, like you say, he gets pushed slightly wide by Silva's pass when we're 3-on-2. And you're slightly frustrated that we don't kill it off, and then Jack does that, and it's wonderful. I just think he's an incredibly good goalkeeper. I mean, if you get 3-4 years out of Jack Butland, which you can certainly get at his age, but without people trying to take him, I think clubs will come in. I think given his performance levels, clubs will come in. But if you get that out of Jack, he's well capable of going down as one of our best in recent times because he's been here now 6 months, and he's pulled big, massive moments, big saves. Whether it's cutbacks or balls fired across, or it's saves like that, or it's coming for a cross, he's so consistently good, and he's just a wonderful goalkeeper for us. So at 2-0 at that point, it's a massive save.
Cyril Dessers then comes off the bench and scores it's the most nonchalant finish you'll ever see. Actually, part of me thought has even meant that, but he does. The way I would describe this goal to someone who's not seen it is when you are in the final 5 minutes of a five-a-side game and you're like, yeah, I should probably just finish this into the far corner, but I'm going to try something a bit different. Not actually too dissimilar from the goal he scored against Hibs in Clermont's first game, Stevie, but just a moment where, listen, I think the Old Firm game, Old Firms decide legacies at Rangers. I think it's fair to say that, and rightly that moment merited a lot of criticism. Outside of that, his numbers under Clermont have been good. Against Dumbarton, Twitter feeds were aflame for the first 30 minutes of that game until he then goes and scores his goal. Within all the talk of a Rangers number 9, he is going to contribute between now and the end of the season. I think we've seen enough to justify that. And I think you asked him in the press conference if he how it felt having his name sung, and he kind of said it had been sung before, but not like that. Tonight, it was the first time you've heard a stand singing his name. And if you consider the start he's had at Ibrox, one of the most difficult I can remember witnessing. That's quite a turnaround, isn't it?
I think the thing is that, see, here at this club, you need to have confidence, you need to have the ability to bounce back, and you also need to have, for want of a better expression, big set of balls to play in front of this crowd.
Yeah.
And I think that he's got the attitude, and I think he's got the personality, because let's face it, he misses chances, he just comes back, and he misses more, he comes back, and then he gets his goal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, I've seen strikers at Rangers fold under pressure and just not want the ball, not want the chances because they've maybe missed one. He doesn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think he's good enough? I don't think so, because in the big moments he's not really shown, but in other big moments he has.
Yeah,
that's a big moment tonight, and he's finished it ridiculously well. As you said, it's a little inside flick, when he should just roll it in the corner.
Yeah,
and he takes on his man and then goes, but then he goes clean through towards the end and fires it straight at David Marshall.
Yeah.
So there's those moments, but you know what? He's a likeable big guy.
Yeah.
He works. He never hides, and I think that's really important, because you've got other, as I said to you, to hark back onto that point, you've got strikers that will come to this club and hidden, and he doesn't. He's constantly in there, and I actually really enjoyed his presser after as well. He says that, he embraces the pressure and there's more to come from him. He's growing and he's adapting. He's loving it here, and he's determined. And we talk about a number 9. I think we need another striker, but he will get numbers. He will, and you think about, he's had big moments. He's had big passes, that one against PSV, the one against Kilmarnock. He's got numbers, I think maybe 12 goals now. So he's on the way to getting 20 goals and maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 assists, whatever he ends up with. And if you sign a striker, that's the kind of money and that's the kind of numbers you want. But as you said, legacies get decided by the big moments, by the biggest moments. That moment at Parkhead, you do exceptionally well to win the ball. You go in and you lash it, and you just put it in.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes when he's got a wee bit of time, he can maybe do a wee bit too much. But on tonight's performance, he deserves the credit. He deserves the goal. He makes it. He scores it, and he's done wonderfully well for it. So, just keep scoring goals.
Yes.
And then, people, the more he does moments like tonight, the more he takes big chances, you can turn a career around. We've seen it here, and we are a judgmental crowd. We have written him off to an extent, but wouldn't it be somewhat ironic if he did prove that he could be the man to do it?
Yeah.
But as for tonight, just enjoy the moment. It was a great finish. It was a great goal. Third one kills it off completely. And, I think we're worthy of it. It's actually very good pressing. It's a duff kick out. Matondo gets onto it and then plays a really good through ball. He gets in the right place. He's in the right position that we want our 9 to be in, and he finishes it well. So, you know what I mean? All credit to him. Good on him. He's a nice big guy.
We're definitely getting chucked out. Just quickly, you want to talk about... I thought Dujon Sterling and Tom Lawrence did well when they came on, but you want to talk about John Lundstrom in the middle. Quickly, quick monologue of John Lundstrom.
Mr. Thursday Night. That's what we used to call him, and he said that he was going to win the Europa League for us, and he so nearly did. I think his performance levels have been consistently 7, 8 out of 10. He's at the levels where you really want Nico Raskin to get at. He's consistently good on the ball. Visually, passing-wise, very good. He's there winning second balls. He's closing down space. And I thought that he was by far our best player. Mm-hmm. Notable mentions for Ridvan at left back. I thought he was tremendously good. He got caught out once. Scores a really good goal. I thought Balogun was capable at centre half. Suter was fine. No issues there. And then, like you, I thought Sterling was a monster when he came on. It's just like so powerful, isn't he?
You know what, Stevie? The best compliment you can give him is that he looks like a central midfielder at the moment.
He does.
That is a position he hadn't played a couple of months ago.
Do you know what I found interesting at Dumbarton when they brought on Leon King and he went to right back? And was that Dumbarton? Maybe it was Copenhagen. I'm getting confused.
Yeah, it's Copenhagen.
Copenhagen, right. And I thought that was interesting. Maybe they see Sterling's future as being, as a midfielder. Mm-hmm. Diamandi's coming in the next couple of days, we think, that one's more or less done by barring the announcement. But that's going to add somebody else in there. So it's competitive, it's good. But Sterling, I thought, was great. He wins a lot of challenges with a lot of second balls. He's so energetic in there. He's basically like Calvin Bassey was at left back in the middle. He's got that same kind of bustling, big, powerful style. So
but I think one of the differences is that, Steve, what we kind of forget about Sterling is he was one of Chelsea's top prospects when he was 17.
Absolutely.
So what he has is that technical level you can't get away with. You can't get away winning 3 FA Youth Cups. I'm not saying that necessarily makes you a player, but obviously makes you a technically good player at that age.
Maybe it was his teammates.
Maybe it was his teammates.
Maybe one in particular.
Yeah.
But no, I really like Dujon. He's come right onto it. We never would have thought a couple of months ago we talked about Dujon Sterling in midfield, but see to be able to take Raskin off and bring Sterling on, and if Raskin has got a wee knock, just to say, right, well, we can bring on Sterling, but not lose anything from what we're doing in midfield. But, just to kind of, if I was to sum up tonight, I would say that it was 3-0, going on 4 or 5 or 6 in a game where I think we can be better than the overall performance. And that to me is wonderfully promising because we've came to a ground where it's tricky. They're a good side, and they've got bits of quality throughout their time. They didn't show it tonight. They didn't take their opportunities that they had. But for us to come here and get that done at this time, January, sticky month for us traditionally, and play good stuff out there at times, I'm really, really pleased with that. What about you? If we were to offer a quick kind of summary on this tonight for you?
No, I agree. I agree with you. I think that you can sense that Clement
he's building something.
Yeah, I think he's a lot of buy-in. I think that there's still clear areas to improve, and by no means it was a perfect performance, but with it again within the context, I think it's continually impressive. And I think his summary that all the players are better than they were 3 months ago in a better place sums it up. So we shall see lots of games to come, but given how Rangers have come back after winter breaks in recent years, a good way to kick off 2024. We, myself and Derek, will be live in the morning. I think you're going to be joining Chris and Derek on Friday potentially, to look ahead to another weekend of football. If you're watching the video and you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do, completely free. Like the video, all that supports us, keeps us going in stadiums at 11 o'clock at night.
Joshua, do you know what? See if they keep winning 3-0 and keep coming to places like this.
Yeah.
I'm going to be happy.
Yeah, you are going to be happy. I mean?
Yeah. Everybody watching will be shocked, but I'm really chuffed with that tonight. Yeah. Job well done up the road. Hope everybody enjoyed the game tonight and hope everybody enjoyed the show.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Do subscribe to the Rangers Review if you've not done so already. Stevie's columns and much more on there. Until then, we'll speak to you at 9:30 tomorrow morning. Thanks for joining us and speak to you soon. Bye.